The vastness of this ancient land is something that cannot be grasped at once, for every corner holds a new marvel waiting to be discovered. As the journey begins, one is immediately struck by the seamless blend of natural beauty and human ingenuity. Towering ridges stretch into the horizon, their outlines softened by mist, while stone pathways wind gracefully along them, testifying to centuries of determination and vision. The wind carries with it whispers of countless stories, tales of empires and dynasties that once thrived here, leaving behind monuments so enduring that they continue to astonish travelers from around the world. It is a place where the sheer scale of history collides with the grandeur of nature, creating sights that feel both eternal and humbling. Walking through the heart of this wonder, the landscape shifts dramatically with each step. One moment, steep walls of stone rise above, rugged and ancient, while the next reveals sweeping valleys where rivers sparkle beneath the sunlight. The patterns of earth and rock, shaped by both man and nature, evoke a sense of awe unlike anything else. Every angle offers a new perspective, a fresh appreciation of the enormity of what was achieved here. Travelers cannot help but pause, gazing into the distance, imagining the countless lives that once passed through these very paths. It is in these quiet moments that the magnificence of the setting truly takes hold, wrapping visitors in an atmosphere that feels both sacred and timeless. As one ventures deeper, the presence of artistry becomes even more evident. Every carving, every structure, every carefully laid stone speaks of dedication that spanned generations. What is now admired as a wonder was once a vital part of daily life, serving as both protection and pride. Standing within its embrace, surrounded by towering landscapes and architectural marvels, it becomes clear why this place has endured as a symbol of strength and resilience. Each curve of the land, each shadow cast by the sun, enhances its mystery and beauty. The human hand has left its mark, but nature has shaped the stage on which it stands, creating a partnership that continues to inspire awe in everyone who witnesses it. The scenery changes as the journey moves toward lands where golden rooftops glisten under the sky. Here lies a world of elegance and artistry, designed with such precision that every detail tells a story of power and vision. Vast courtyards stretch endlessly, each lined with vibrant colors, intricate carvings, and perfectly symmetrical designs that reflect the deep philosophies of balance and harmony. Walking through these spaces feels like stepping into a dream, where the architecture itself whispers the legacy of those who once ruled with authority and grandeur. The sense of order is not accidental but deliberate, a reflection of the values that shaped the culture and history of this extraordinary civilization. Moving deeper into these halls, the echoes of the past become palpable. Long corridors lined with crimson walls lead to chambers filled with secrets, where the footsteps of rulers once echoed. Each gate reveals another layer of beauty, another reminder of the vision that guided its construction. It is not only the scale that impresses, but also the intention, the way every stone, every painting, every detail reflects the belief that this was the very center of the world. Today, travelers marvel at the sheer scale and artistry, standing in awe of a legacy that has endured centuries of change and transformation. As the narration flows through these magnificent wonders, it's the perfect time to pause and reflect. If you're enjoying this journey through breathtaking landscapes and timeless marvels, make sure to take a moment to subscribe. By joining this community, you'll never miss the chance to explore more stories, more places, and more incredible wonders that await across the globe. Far from the bustling heart of the ancient capital, nature unfolds in spectacular ways that almost defy imagination. Jagged peaks rise abruptly from the ground, their summits often hidden by drifting clouds, creating a mystical atmosphere. These towering spires look almost unreal, as if they belong in a fantasy world rather than on Earth. Between them, lush forests stretch endlessly, filling the air with the sound of rustling leaves and singing birds. Streams tumble down from great heights, forming waterfalls that glisten like silver threads against the green backdrop. Here, nature is the true artist, sculpting a masterpiece that has inspired poets, painters, and dreamers for centuries. Travelers wandering through this terrain find themselves constantly amazed by the shifting scenery. Narrow trails snake through dense woods before suddenly opening onto vistas where entire valleys spread out below. Bridges suspended over gorges allow for breathtaking views of rock pillars that stand like silent guardians of the land. The experience feels surreal, as though stepping into a living painting, where every detail has been placed with deliberate care. Sunlight filtering through the mist casts an otherworldly glow, adding to the dreamlike quality of the place. Those who come here often find themselves pausing in silence, overwhelmed by the sheer beauty and tranquility of the environment. Not far away, another marvel rises in contrast. A vast mountain known for its unique colors and shifting scenery. Its slopes are cloaked in pine forests, and as one ascends, the air grows cooler, the winds sharper, and the views ever more dramatic. At dawn, the peaks glow gold as the sun rises, while at dusk, the mountain is bathed in hues of crimson and purple. Stairways carved into the stone allow travelers to climb toward its highest points, where seas of clouds stretch endlessly in all directions. Standing at these heights, the sensation is unlike any other, as if the earth itself has fallen away, leaving only sky, mountain, and soul. Legends and stories cling to this sacred place, adding an air of mystery to its already breathtaking beauty. Ancient philosophers, poets, and monks once sought inspiration here, leaving behind tales that continue to enrich its allure. The twisted shapes of pines clinging to cliffs, the granite peaks jutting dramatically into the heavens, and the silence broken only by wind all combine to create an unforgettable experience. Those who venture here often speak of feeling both humbled and uplifted, as if the mountain itself whispers secrets to those willing to listen. As the journey continues, the land opens into rolling plains that contrast with the towering mountains. Here, the sky feels endless, stretching into infinity above fields of golden grass that sway with the wind. Herds of animals roam freely, their silhouettes moving gracefully against the horizon. The vastness of this landscape fills the spirit with a sense of peace and freedom rarely found elsewhere. It is a reminder of the diversity of this land, from jagged peaks to open grasslands, each offering its own unique charm and wonder. And so the adventure goes on, from stone wonders shaped by human hands to wild landscapes sculpted by nature. Every step reveals a new marvel. Every glance offers another reason to pause in awe. This is only the beginning of a journey through a land so vast and varied that it could take a lifetime to truly understand. Each moment draws you deeper, leaving you eager for what lies ahead. The journey carries us onward to a realm where rivers carve their paths through dramatic gorges, their waters glistening beneath the sunlight as they wind endlessly between colossal cliffs. Standing at the edge, one cannot help but feel humbled by the raw power of nature, for the sheer scale of these landscapes is staggering. The cliffs rise almost vertically, painted in shades of earthy reds and grays, their reflections shimmering across the calm or turbulent waters below. The sound of rushing currents, sometimes gentle and sometimes roaring, fills the air with energy that seems eternal. As boats drift slowly through the winding passageways, travelers are treated to views so magnificent they appear like moving paintings, changing with every bend of the river. The atmosphere here is a symphony of contrasts, moments of calm serenity where the waters lie still, followed by passages of narrow canyons where echoes of rushing water reverberate against the towering walls. Mist often hangs low in the early mornings, cloaking the cliffs in a veil of mystery that gradually lifts with the warmth of the sun. It is a place where legends have been born, where the forces of earth and water meet in perfect harmony, and where the timelessness of the scene connects visitors to the ancient rhythms of the land. Each view unfolds like a story, capturing the imagination and leaving a lasting impression upon the soul. From the depths of valleys, the journey rises again into regions where terraces cascade down the hillsides in endless succession. These man-made wonders stretch across the slopes like waves of green and gold, a breathtaking demonstration of how humanity has lived in harmony with the land for centuries. From above, the sight is mesmerizing. Layers upon layers of fields curve gracefully around the mountainsides, following the natural shape of the earth. With the changing seasons, the terraces transform in color, glowing with fresh green shoots in spring, golden rice in autumn, and shimmering pools of water during planting time. It is as if the mountains themselves have been draped in a living tapestry, constantly shifting yet eternally beautiful. Walking along the narrow paths that weave between these terraces, one begins to appreciate the immense labor and patience that went into creating them. Each level was carved by hand, stone by stone, soil by soil, passed down from generation to generation. Farmers tending to the fields with quiet dedication remind us that these marvels are not relics of the past but vibrant, living systems that continue to sustain entire communities. The terraces embody resilience, resourcefulness, and an unbreakable connection between humans and their environment. Standing amidst them, surrounded by silence broken only by the rustle of leaves and distant laughter from the fields, the sense of timelessness is profound. Not far away, the land shifts once more, this time to formations that seem to defy reality. Towering stone pillars rise straight from the earth, each shaped into fantastical forms by the patient hands of wind and water over millions of years. Some appear like sharp spears piercing the sky, others like great figures frozen in time. The density of these natural towers creates a labyrinth of stone, a landscape so surreal it feels more like stepping into a dream than walking on familiar ground. The interplay of light and shadow adds to the otherworldly atmosphere, as golden rays illuminate the jagged edges in contrast against the dark valleys below. The air here carries a hushed stillness, broken only by the rustle of leaves and distant calls of birds that make their homes among the towering rocks. Mist often swirls between the spires, cloaking them in mystery and heightening the sense of wonder. For those wandering through the narrow paths, the feeling is indescribable, as though nature has built its own cathedral, vast and sacred, where silence becomes part of the experience. This landscape has inspired countless works of art and continues to be one of the most spellbinding sights, reminding us of the incredible power of nature's creativity. As the camera glides smoothly across these views, it feels like the perfect time for a gentle reminder. If you've been swept away by the sheer beauty of these wonders, don't forget to subscribe. Every click brings you closer to more incredible journeys, more breathtaking landscapes, and more stories that connect us all to the wonders of the world. Beyond stone towers and terraces, the land transforms again into boundless deserts that stretch into the horizon. Golden sands ripple under the blazing sun, their dunes rising and falling like frozen waves upon a sea of earth. The wind whispers across the emptiness, shaping new patterns each day, a constant reminder of nature's endless artistry. Walking upon these sands, one feels both isolated and deeply connected to the vastness of existence. The silence is profound, broken only by the sound of footsteps sinking into the soft ground, a rhythm that blends seamlessly with the sigh of the desert winds. Yet amidst this seemingly barren world lies life and history that surprises and fascinates. Oases emerge suddenly, green sanctuaries where water nourishes both people and vegetation, creating havens of survival and culture. For centuries, travelers crossed these deserts, guided by stars and instincts, leaving behind stories and relics that still linger beneath the sands. The desert holds mysteries both visible and hidden, treasures of the past and lessons for the future. It is a reminder of resilience, adaptation, and the unyielding will to endure even in the harshest of conditions. The journey continues into regions where crystal-clear lakes mirror the skies above with breathtaking perfection. Surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests, these waters reflect every detail of the heavens, creating an illusion that blurs the boundary between earth and sky. The colors shift with the seasons: emerald green in spring, deep blue in summer, fiery reds mirrored in autumn, and frosty silver in winter. Looking across the glassy surface feels like gazing into a portal to another world, a scene so serene it seems untouched by time. Along the shores, the beauty is equally enchanting. Flowers bloom in profusion, filling the air with fragrance, while birds dip gracefully across the water's surface. In certain places, mineral deposits beneath the lakebed give rise to vivid hues that paint the water in bands of turquoise, jade, and sapphire. Each viewpoint reveals a new masterpiece, as though nature has used the lake as its canvas to display infinite variations of color and light. Visitors often linger for hours, mesmerized by the shifting reflections, reluctant to leave such a peaceful sanctuary. From lakes that shimmer like gems, the path leads to vast grasslands where the sky dominates the horizon. Here, the earth seems endless, rolling gently in waves of green beneath a canopy of boundless blue. Horses gallop freely across the plains, their movements powerful and graceful, embodying the spirit of freedom that defines this land. The sound of their hooves echoes in the open air, mingling with the whistle of the wind and the songs of birds that soar above. The expanse feels eternal, a place where time slows down and the heart is filled with a sense of unshakable calm. Communities here have thrived for generations, living in harmony with the land. Traditional dwellings, the plains, blending seamlessly into the environment. Their presence a reminder of the enduring relationship between people and nature. The culture that has grown in these grasslands is deeply tied to the rhythms of the earth, celebrating the cycles of life through music, dance, and storytelling. Standing beneath the endless sky, surrounded by the openness of the land, one feels a profound connection to both the past and the present, a reminder that simplicity often holds the greatest beauty. The path winds onward into a land where mountains rise not just as stone, but as living tapestries. In the mornings, clouds drift lazily among the jagged peaks, wrapping them in an ethereal glow as though the earth itself is breathing. The ridges stand in silent majesty, carved by eons of wind, water, and unseen forces, their shapes telling stories of endurance and transformation. As sunlight breaks through, shadows dance across the slopes, shifting moment by moment, revealing countless layers of detail. To stand here is to witness a living painting, one that changes with each passing breath of nature. Descending from the peaks, rivers tumble down in cascades, leaping joyfully from rocky ledges into pools of emerald and jade. The roar of the water reverberates through the valleys, a sound that fills the air with both power and peace. Mist rises with every crash, carrying droplets that cool the skin and shimmer like jewels when touched by the sun. Some cascades stretch tall and slender, threading through cliffs like silver ribbons, while others plunge in massive torrents, shaking the ground with their might. Each fall holds its own personality, its own music, inviting travelers to pause, to listen, and to feel the unbroken rhythm of nature. Moving further along, one arrives in lands where earth itself burns with color. Mountains glow in shades of crimson, amber, and gold, layered like strokes of a painter's brush. As far as the eye can see, ridges and valleys unfold in waves of brilliance, each hue deepened by the rising or setting sun. The surreal spectacle is so vibrant it almost seems unreal, like walking inside an artist's dream. In the shifting light of dusk, the ridges blaze like embers, glowing with an intensity that takes the breath away. These colors, formed over millions of years by the patient hand of geology, remind us that the earth is not just solid and silent, but alive with expression. Paths here wind through narrow valleys where the layers of stone rise like walls of fire, towering above and creating canyons of color. Travelers who walk these passages often fall silent, overwhelmed by the sheer wonder of the surroundings. Each step reveals new patterns, new contrasts, new revelations in the stone. When rain falls, the colors deepen, becoming richer, almost glowing under the softened light. In those quiet moments, the land seems to whisper its ancient secrets, carrying voices from a time long before human memory. In another corner of the land, vast forests stretch endlessly, filled with trees that have stood for centuries. Their trunks rise thick and tall, their branches interwoven into canopies so dense that sunlight filters through in soft beams, scattering patterns across the forest floor. Walking through these woodlands feels like entering a temple built by nature, where silence is sacred and the air carries a fragrance of pine, moss, and life itself. Streams trickle between roots, birds call from hidden perches, and leaves rustle with secrets in the wind. It is a place of balance, where time moves slowly, reminding us of the quiet resilience of the natural world. Among the trees, wildlife thrives in abundance. Brightly colored birds flash between branches, their songs echoing through the canopy, while deer move gracefully among the shadows. Tiny insects scurry across leaves, each playing its role in the vast, interconnected web of life. In the stillness, one can almost feel the heartbeat of the forest itself, pulsing gently in rhythm with the earth. To wander here is to rediscover humility, to remember that humanity is but one small part of a much greater whole. The narrative of wonder continues as we reach coasts where the ocean meets the land in breathtaking harmony. Waves crash against rocky cliffs, sending sprays of foam high into the air before retreating back into the deep blue. In some places, the waters roll gently, lapping against golden sands where shells glitter in the sunlight and seabirds call overhead. In others, the sea pounds the shore with ferocity, shaping caves, arches, and stone formations that stand like monuments to the endless power of the tides. The rhythm of the waves creates a timeless song, one that has played since the beginning of the earth itself. Fishermen cast nets into the waters, their boats swaying with the tides, continuing traditions that have endured for centuries. Along the beaches, travelers find solace in the simplicity of walking barefoot on sand warmed by the sun, listening to the endless conversation between sea and sky. At sunset, the horizon glows in streaks of pink and orange, mirrored across the water's surface, a daily masterpiece painted anew each evening. It is in these coastal moments that one understands the deep bond between people and the sea, a bond forged in both challenge and beauty. And speaking of bonds, here's a little pause to connect with you, dear viewer. If these landscapes have stirred your heart, if these journeys make you long for exploration, take a moment to subscribe. By joining us, you ensure that these incredible stories and wonders will continue to flow to your screen, carrying you across mountains, rivers, deserts, and seas with every new adventure. The adventure turns inward, away from coasts, toward caves hidden beneath the earth. Within these caverns, stalactites and stalagmites rise and fall like frozen waves, formed drip by drip over countless ages. Some chambers are vast, their ceilings towering so high they vanish into darkness, while others are intimate, filled with glittering crystals that sparkle under even the faintest light. Echoes carry through the chambers, amplifying every sound into an otherworldly resonance, as though the earth itself were speaking from its depths. The air inside is cool and damp, carrying the scent of minerals and the touch of ancient water. As one moves deeper, the sense of wonder grows with each new formation, each twist of rock shaped by unseen forces. In certain places, underground rivers flow quietly, their waters reflecting the shimmering walls, while hidden pools mirror the strange beauty above them. Exploring these caves feels like stepping into another realm, one untouched by time, a reminder of how much of the world still lies beyond the reach of ordinary sight. The path returns once more to the surface, where plateaus stretch across the horizon like vast, natural fortresses. Their flat tops rise dramatically above surrounding valleys, standing tall and commanding as if carved by deliberate design. From above, the view extends endlessly, with rivers winding through lowlands and distant mountains piercing the sky. The plateaus themselves are alive with vegetation and wildlife, their ecosystems thriving in the high air where clouds often drift lazily along the cliffs. The combination of grandeur and stillness creates a sense of awe that lingers long after the journey continues. These landscapes, shaped by millions of years, tell stories of resilience and change. Each plateau is a chapter, each cliff a sentence, each stone a word in the grand narrative of the earth. Standing at the edge, feeling the wind sweep across the surface, one realizes the immensity of time that has passed and the smallness of a single human life against it. And yet, within that realization comes a sense of belonging, a quiet comfort in knowing that we are all threads woven into the vast fabric of existence. The journey presses onward into valleys where rivers carve their way through soft earth, weaving silver ribbons across vast landscapes. In the early morning, mist clings to the water's surface, drifting upward like the breath of the river itself. Birds skim across the rippling flow, wings brushing lightly against the current before lifting into the open air. Along the banks, reeds sway with the breeze, whispering in unison as though carrying messages between the land and the water. Travelers who stand upon the river's edge feel time slow, the rhythm of the flow drawing them into a world where everything moves at nature's own steady pace. The river deepens as it journeys further, and soon it becomes a force of grandeur, stretching wide across fertile plains. Boats glide gracefully over its surface, carrying life and culture in their wake. Families gather at the shore to fish, children laugh as they splash in the shallows, and farmers rely on its waters to nourish their fields. With every turn, the river reflects both beauty and sustenance, a lifeline that has shaped communities for centuries. In its quiet bends and powerful surges, one can sense the endless dialogue between people and the waters that sustain them. From rivers to deserts, the transition is striking, yet equally fascinating. Stretching into the distance, endless sands shimmer under the sun, their rippled surfaces sculpted by the patient hand of the wind. Dunes rise and fall like waves frozen in time, casting long shadows as the day advances. In the heat of noon, the horizon wavers with mirages, tricking the eye with illusions of water and movement. Despite the harshness, the desert carries a beauty that is both raw and humbling, a reminder of the Earth's immense variety and resilience. At dusk, the sands glow in shades of gold and crimson, while the sky above explodes in hues of violet and rose. Nights in this vast openness are unlike anywhere else. The air cools, the world falls silent, and stars ignite the heavens in countless numbers. With no city lights to interfere, the Milky Way stretches brilliantly across the sky, offering a spectacle so profound it can make one feel both small and infinite at the same time. Life here adapts with quiet strength. Small plants dig deep roots for water, animals move under the cover of night, and humans have learned to endure, thriving against the odds. In the distance, towering rock formations rise from the sands like sentinels of time. Weathered into fantastic shapes by centuries of wind and erosion, they stand as natural sculptures, each telling its own story. Some resemble fortresses, others figures or animals, sparking the imagination of all who gaze upon them. As the sun shifts, so too do the shadows, transforming the formations into living artwork that evolves hour by hour. Exploring these places feels like walking through an open-air gallery crafted by the patient hands of nature itself. Leaving behind the desert, the path leads into grasslands that stretch boundlessly beneath open skies. Here, the horizon feels impossibly far, a line that forever retreats no matter how far one travels. Waves of grass roll gently with the wind, creating rippling patterns of green and gold. Horses run freely across the plains, their hooves drumming the earth in powerful unison, embodying the spirit of freedom that defines these lands. Nomadic traditions flourish here, where people live in harmony with the rhythm of seasons, their homes easily moved with the changing winds. The grasslands come alive in spring when wildflowers bloom in bursts of color, painting the fields in a tapestry of red, yellow, and purple. Butterflies flutter among the blossoms, and bees hum tirelessly, carrying life from flower to flower. During this time, the air is filled with vitality, a celebration of renewal and growth. Travelers who arrive are often struck by the sheer expanse, the sense of space so vast it feels as though the sky itself has opened wider to embrace the earth. In this openness lies a rare serenity, a peace difficult to find in the crowded corners of the world. Beyond the plains rise ranges of snow-capped mountains, their peaks piercing the heavens in shimmering white. Clouds swirl around their bases, while summits stand tall and unyielding against the deep blue sky. Glaciers descend slowly from these heights, carrying ancient ice down into valleys where rivers are born. The silence of these mountains is profound, broken only by the distant roar of avalanches or the whistle of wind sweeping across ridges. To climb or even stand before them is to confront nature's most awe-inspiring face. Vast, powerful, and eternal. In summer, the lower slopes awaken with alpine meadows, where vibrant flowers peek through melting snow. Marmots whistle from rocky outcrops, while eagles soar high above, riding thermal currents with effortless grace. In winter, the mountains transform into a realm of icy wonder, cloaked in deep snow that sparkles beneath the sun. Travelers who venture here find not just physical beauty, but also spiritual clarity, a reminder of how small yet significant each life is within the great expanse of the earth. Let's pause here for just a moment. If these landscapes have captured your imagination, if the wonders of these lands have touched you even slightly, Take this opportunity to subscribe. By joining our community, you'll continue this journey with us, discovering new corners of the world, new stories, and new wonders waiting just beyond the horizon. The journey moves next to lakes so clear they mirror the sky above. In the morning, mist hovers gently above the surface, creating an atmosphere of dreamlike calm. Mountains rise on the horizon, their reflections stretching downward into the tranquil waters, blurring the line between reality and illusion. Birds float effortlessly across the surface, sending ripples that spread gently outward. The stillness invites contemplation, as though the lake holds the power to quiet every restless thought. When autumn arrives, the surrounding forests erupt in color, turning the lakes into canvases of fiery red, amber, and gold. Each leaf that drifts onto the water becomes part of a living mosaic, slowly carried along by the currents. In winter, the lakes freeze into crystalline surfaces, trapping bubbles and patterns beneath the ice, transforming the scenery into a magical world of frozen artistry. To stand on the shores during these seasons is to witness nature's endless creativity, painting new visions with every turn of time. Islands dot the lakes, each cloaked in greenery or crowned by stone formations. Some are tiny sanctuaries for wildlife, others large enough to hold villages, their lights reflecting across the water at night. Fishermen paddle quietly between them, casting nets that glimmer in the sunlight. The harmony of water, land, and life is palpable, a reminder of how closely tied human existence is to these natural spaces. Lakes such as these are not merely bodies of water, but living spirits that breathe alongside the world. From lakes, the adventure carries us to canyons where rivers cut deeply into the earth, exposing walls of layered stone that tell stories stretching back through geological ages. Walking along their edges, one can peer into depths that seem bottomless, where shadows and light play endlessly across the surfaces. The colors of the rock shift with the sun, turning from soft ochre in the morning to blazing orange and red in the evening. Echoes of footsteps bounce between the walls, amplifying every sound into a chorus of nature's design. Descending into the canyons, the scale becomes even more overwhelming. Walls rise hundreds of feet above, towering so high they nearly block out the sky. Streams trickle along the base, nourishing plants that cling to cracks and ledges. Birds nest in hidden alcoves, their calls piercing the vast silence. Every turn of the path reveals new shapes, new mysteries, as though the canyon were a labyrinth designed to both humble and inspire. It is a place that defies imagination, where the immensity of the earth is laid bare before the human eye. Farther along the journey, landscapes unfold where waterfalls cascade from towering cliffs, plunging into emerald pools with a roar that shakes the air. Mist rises in thick veils, carrying with it the scent of fresh water and moss-covered stone. Rainbows shimmer in the sunlight, bending gracefully through the spray like fragile arcs of light. Standing nearby, one feels the cool droplets touch the skin, a reminder of nature's ability to both invigorate and soothe at the same time. These places are not only visual marvels but also symphonies of sound, where the thunder of falling water harmonizes with the softer rush of streams below. The pools into which these falls descend are often surrounded by lush vegetation, where ferns unfurl like green lace and vines drape elegantly from the cliffs above. Birds dart in and out of the mist, their wings catching glimmers of sunlight as they move in flocks. The scene feels alive in every detail, as if the earth itself is celebrating the union of water and stone. Travelers pause in awe, realizing that these waterfalls are not merely natural formations but living expressions of energy, forever sculpting the land with their endless descent. Beyond the falls, caves invite exploration, their entrances dark and mysterious, like portals into another world. The air within is cool and damp, filled with the echo of dripping water that has patiently shaped stalactites and stalagmites over countless centuries. Some chambers open wide enough to hold entire villages, while others narrow into twisting passages that lead deeper into the unknown. Lantern light reveals textures and colors within the stone, glittering crystals embedded in walls that glimmer like stars. To step into these caverns is to step back in time, into spaces untouched by the outside world. Deeper still, the caves reveal underground rivers, their surfaces reflecting shimmering patterns upon the ceilings above. Boats glide silently through these hidden waterways, their movement disturbing the water just enough to ripple the reflections. It feels otherworldly, like drifting through a dream where reality blurs with imagination. In these spaces, silence dominates, punctuated only by the splash of a paddle or the distant call of a bat. For those who venture here, the experience is one of both wonder and humility, a reminder that even beneath the surface, beauty flourishes in unseen ways. As the journey continues, plateaus rise dramatically from the earth, their flat summits offering vast vistas of surrounding lands. These elevated worlds feel almost like separate realms, their isolation creating unique environments where rare plants thrive and winds sweep endlessly across the surface. Standing atop one, the view stretches for miles in every direction. Valleys, rivers, and forests laid out like a painting beneath the open sky. Clouds drift so close it feels as though they might be touched, and sunsets bathe the plateau in gold, igniting the horizon in flames of light. At night, these highlands transform into some of the most enchanting stargazing locations imaginable. The air is crisp, the silence profound, and above, the sky bursts with countless constellations. Shooting stars streak across the darkness, and the moon casts silvery glows across the rugged landscape. To lie beneath this expanse is to feel connected not only to the earth but also to the cosmos itself, bridging the gap between human existence and the infinite mysteries of the universe. Such moments etch themselves into memory, lingering long after the journey has ended. Shifting once more, the path leads into wetlands where life flourishes in every corner. Shallow waters reflect the blue of the sky, while reeds grow thick and tall, forming natural sanctuaries for countless species of birds. Their calls fill the air in a symphony of life, from the deep honk of geese to the delicate trills of smaller songbirds. Fish ripple beneath the surface, insects buzz across the water, and amphibians croak from hidden perches. It is an ecosystem alive with sound, movement, and balance. In spring, the wetlands bloom with wildflowers that paint the banks in vibrant colors, attracting butterflies and dragonflies in mesmerizing displays. As the sun sets, the water glows with hues of orange and pink, reflecting the fading light in a dazzling display. These wetlands serve as both sanctuary and sustenance, vital not only for the creatures who call them home, but also for the people who draw upon their abundance. Walking through such places is a lesson in interconnectedness, where every small life contributes to the greater harmony of the whole. Beyond wetlands, the sea opens up in breathtaking contrast, stretching to the horizon in shades of turquoise and deep blue. Waves crash rhythmically against rocky cliffs, sending sprays of foam into the air. Beaches curve gracefully along the coast, their sands soft beneath bare feet, warming under the midday sun. The ocean breeze carries with it the scent of salt and adventure, while seagulls soar overhead, calling out across the vast expanse. The rhythm of the tide, eternal and unchanging, speaks to the timeless bond between land and sea. Beneath the surface, coral reefs bloom in underwater gardens of astonishing diversity. Fish of every color weave through intricate coral branches, shimmering like jewels in the filtered light. Sea turtles glide serenely, while schools of silver fish move in unison, shifting like liquid mirrors. Divers who descend into these depths find themselves immersed in a world of wonder, where life thrives in dazzling abundance. The ocean here is not merely a body of water, but a realm of beauty and mystery, constantly inviting exploration. Before moving further, let me gently remind you, if you are enjoying this immersive journey, if the wonders of these landscapes inspire your imagination, consider subscribing. Your support keeps these stories alive, ensuring that we can continue exploring, discovering, and sharing the beauty of our world with you. The coastlines give way to cliffs that rise dramatically from the sea, sheer walls of stone that have withstood centuries of waves and wind. Birds nest in the cracks and ledges, their calls echoing across the vast drop. From the top, the view is nothing short of breathtaking. The sea stretching endlessly on one side, rolling hills and forests sprawling across the other. The meeting of sea and stone here feels raw and untamed, a place where nature's forces collide in spectacular harmony. In the evenings, the cliffs glow with the soft light of sunset, shadows deepening as the waves below crash with steady persistence. The sound of the ocean carries upward, mingling with the cries of seabirds and the whisper of wind. Standing at the edge, one cannot help but feel both exhilarated and humbled. Exhilarated by the view, humbled by the sheer scale of time and force required to create such marvels. These cliffs are monuments to endurance, sculpted by the eternal conversation between sea and sky. Inland once more, rolling hills present landscapes of gentle beauty, where fields stretch in patchwork patterns of green and gold. Farmers tend to their crops, and villages nestle among the slopes, their rooftops peeking through clusters of trees. Winding paths meander through the hills, inviting travelers to slow their pace and simply absorb the tranquility. The rhythm of daily life here feels timeless, unhurried, connected deeply to the turning of seasons and the gifts of the land. When the rains come, the hills glisten with fresh vitality, streams trickling down into valleys below. Wildflowers bloom in brilliant displays, covering the slopes in colors so vivid they seem almost unreal. In autumn, the fields glow with harvest hues, a celebration of abundance and community. These hills, though not as dramatic as mountains or deserts, carry their own quiet magic, a reminder that wonder is not always found in grandeur, but often in the subtle grace of the ordinary made extraordinary. As the path unfolds once again, deserts emerge with an almost surreal beauty, where endless sands stretch to horizons that seem to blur into the sky. Dunes rise like frozen waves, their crests reshaped each day by the whisper of wind. At sunrise, the desert glows in shades of gold and orange, the sands sparkling as though sprinkled with stardust. At night, the sky turns into a vast dome of stars, clearer than anywhere else, for there is nothing to block the celestial light. The silence here is profound, broken only by the shifting of sand or the distant call of nocturnal creatures that have learned to survive in this stark environment. Despite the harshness, life persists. Hidden among the dunes are oases, patches of green where palms rise tall and water shimmers like liquid jewels. These sanctuaries are not only lifelines for travelers, but also havens for wildlife that depend upon their nourishment. To come across one is like finding a secret kept by the desert, a reminder that even in the most desolate of places, nature carves out pockets of abundance. The contrast between the vast emptiness of dunes and the vibrancy of an oasis is one of the most striking balances of resilience and beauty found on Earth. Further along, plains spread wide, covered in grasses that ripple like oceans under the breeze. Herds move gracefully across these fields, their migration a timeless spectacle, as though written into the very fabric of the land. The horizon stretches infinitely, and sunsets paint the sky in radiant shades of crimson and violet, casting shadows across the open expanse. The air feels charged with freedom here, where nothing blocks the line of sight and one can feel the earth's curve beneath their feet. It is in such spaces that the magnitude of nature's scale truly reveals itself, urging travelers to pause and reflect. As seasons change, these plains transform. In spring, wildflowers burst across the fields, splashing the landscape with every color imaginable. By summer, tall grasses sway endlessly, alive with the hum of insects and the flutter of wings. In winter, frost glitters like silver, creating scenes of delicate stillness. Each transformation reminds us that wonder does not remain static. It evolves, adapting to time, to weather, and to the unseen rhythms that govern the natural world. Mountains return again to the journey, though now in their most dramatic form. Peaks rise jagged and proud, piercing the clouds with snowy summits that shine brilliantly under the sun. Glaciers carve their paths through valleys, rivers of ice that move with a patience only nature knows. As light shifts across the mountains, shadows dance upon ridges and slopes, creating vistas that change with every passing hour. To climb among these giants is to feel both the thrill of adventure and the humility of one's smallness. Within these highlands, hidden valleys cradle villages untouched by the pace of modernity. Smoke curls gently from chimneys, and terraced fields cascade down the slopes, proof of human ingenuity harmonizing with nature. The people who call these places home live with a rhythm tuned to the land, tending crops, raising animals, and honoring traditions passed down through centuries. Visitors often remark that the beauty of these valleys is not only in the scenery but also in the warmth of human connection that thrives within them. Lakes shimmer once again along the path, each unique in its reflection of the sky. Some are so clear that the bottom is visible even at great depths, their waters a mirror to the clouds above. Others glow with unusual colors, the result of minerals that create hues of turquoise, jade, or even crimson under certain lights. Sitting on their shores brings a sense of stillness, as though the rush of the world has finally quieted. Every ripple on the surface tells a story of wind, of water, and of time unbroken. During seasonal changes, the lakes transform as well. In winter, many freeze into sheets of crystalline ice that crackle and groan as they shift, while in summer they teem with life, their surfaces broken by leaping fish and the glide of birds. The cyclical renewal of these waters carries with it the symbolism of continuity, an eternal loop of change and persistence. They become mirrors not just of the sky, but of life's own rhythm of birth, growth, and renewal. Forests, dense and ancient, also claim their place among these wonders. Towering trees rise like pillars in a natural cathedral, their canopies weaving together to form a living roof of green. Beneath them, light filters softly, creating patterns of gold upon the forest floor. The air here is thick with the scent of pine, cedar, and earth, every breath filled with the essence of life itself. Hidden trails wind through these groves, leading to clearings where streams sing and wildlife thrives. It is a realm where silence reigns, yet it is never truly quiet, for nature's voice is always present in the rustle of leaves, the call of birds, and the whisper of wind. In autumn, these forests ignite with color, every leaf a flame of red, orange, or yellow. Walking beneath this fiery canopy feels like stepping through a painting brought to life. In winter, snow covers the branches in pure white, creating a world of stillness and serenity. In every season, the forests embody resilience, adapting yet continuing, always offering their timeless shelter. For travelers, these places are havens, not just of physical beauty, but of renewal for the spirit. As the final sun sets across this journey, the sky fades into a sea of stars, each one a spark of possibility, each one a reminder of how vast and extraordinary life truly is. The wonders remain, ever present, calling to those who seek them. And perhaps the greatest wonder of all is that these places not only exist but endure, waiting for footsteps, for voices, for hearts willing to be moved by their beauty.